for the annual report, taking the main points, I will be doing a small presentation about the activities of Sadhan in the last financial year. Sandeep, you can start the presentation. We started the financial year, as you all know, ended with COVID-19, and from mid-March onwards, and also the beginning part of this current financial year, Sadhan's efforts were there with regard to various intervention to see that the issues relating to the microfinance sector are taken care of, because we are the sector reaching to the poorest of the poor as far as the clients are concerned. And there are a lot of issues with regard to liquidity, moratorium, funding challenges, insurance related thing, and also all our operations were affected due to the restrictions on account of the lockdown. Sadhan had intervened with all levels. We have spared no ministry, and we have spared no regulator in this, banks, financial institutions, and also look to multilateral agencies and other stakeholders to see whether what support we can get for the entire microfinance sector. And we issued a series of directives and advisories to the members, so that all the announcements of RBI and government are taken care of, and safety of the institutions, their staff, and clients is protected. And highlight of our interventions was we had a video conferencing with the RBI governor, where we clearly highlighted the problem of liquidity for the sector and the issues related to the moratorium. And we also represented to the FM on the package for small MFIs and an emergency credit line. All these are under the consideration. And we represented to SIDBI, NABARD to relax some criteria. Some has already been done. And we also taken up with the EPFO for the issues relating to the contribution to EPF, especially of the small institutions. Next, you can go to the next slide. And also, as Mr. Paul Thomas has mentioned, during this entire time, the Sadhan board was actively engaged, and whenever issues were there, we immediately convened the board meeting of the board members to discuss the issues, and we could get a lot of inputs, and we were able to proceed. And some of the outcomes were with regard to the RBI's announcement. So someone is speaking, please mute your mics. I request all to mute your mics so that there is no disturbance. Reserve Bank has announced a series of liquidity packages through NABARD and SIDBI, and also the TLTRO, and from the government we have seen the special liquidity scheme and the partial credit guarantee scheme. We have again taken up with the government on making it more user friendly for the MFI sector, and we, along with the Association for NBFCs, FIDC, we have been taking up some of these issues. And moratorium to MFIs, that was an issue, but to a large extent by our constant advocacy, we were able to bring it. And also we, earlier itself in March, we have taken up with RBI regarding relaxation in this provisioning norms that has been agreed to. And also credit guarantee fund for micro unit scheme that has also been incorporated. And EPF contribution, that reduction also has happened. And the street vendor scheme, we have been in regular touch. NULM and Ministry of Housing had taken a lot of inputs from our side, and probably one of the first scheme where all sets of MFIs were included in the scheme. because we impressed upon the ministry that we as a sector have been always financing such informal sector people. Then based on our requests, that liquidity facility of SIDBI also was extended from 90 days to 1 year. And some of the issues from SIDBI and NABARD and Mudra, what we understand is that they are in the pipeline and we could get a positive reaction at any time soon. Next slide, please. And our regular policy advocacy measures during the course of the year, we have always kept up that with various sector associations, different state governments, and almost all the ministries concerned with the microfinance sector at the Government of India level, Ministry of Finance, Rural Development, Agriculture, then Housing, and all the DFIs, NABARD, SIDBI, National Housing Bank, and other banks and stakeholders. And we have also been communicating with other regulators like IRDA, SEBI, and also the rating agencies for issues concerning the sector. Then regular interaction with the World Bank Group, Asian Development Bank, and other multilateral agencies with regard to support for smaller MFIs. So these are the continuous interactions and meetings with all the stakeholders we have been keeping up throughout the year. Next slide. And as a SRO, RBI regular engagement with Reserve Bank has been continuing. Of course, the latest was with regard to the liquidity, but even before the present crisis, we are constantly taking up the funds flow issues as far as the microfinance sector is concerned. And we also suggested a interest rate and a margin cap formula, which will support the small and medium MFIs. And also we have been impressing on RBI to bring the non-NBFC MFIs also under the credit information companies platform. That discussion is continuing, and various analysis we have been doing and sharing with the RBI constantly, and we have improved. We have developed a credit assessment tool which is under discussion and will be shared with members for further improvements. And Reserve Bank has requested us to discuss on this activity-based regulation. We have formulated a methodology on that and taken it to the RBI, so it is under their discussion. And we have also been engaging with RBI on the issues relating to the credit bureaus, then usage of Aadhaar for identification again with the entire microfinance sector. Then also on issues relating to fintech, customer protection, risk management, and all. We have been constantly interacting with DNBR of RBI, and also about the issues relating to multiple lending, indebtedness, and all. And we constantly respond to RBI's queries on the irregularities observed in the field that Reserve Bank calls for information from us, and we are usually keeping the RBI abreast of the situation. And we have also brought to the notice of RBI that the present formula of the MCLR of the 5 bigger lenders to microfinance sector is somehow not working in the favor of small and medium MFIs. RBI has asked for our inputs and we have given. So that's something which is under consideration at the RBI level. Next slide. Then, of course, as a part of our work, we have done a very detailed district level analysis, which factors in all these aspects of penetration, multiple lending, early warning, high growth and all. And this we are sharing constantly with the MFIs in those districts and those which are operating there, so that they can take care and accordingly ramp up their field level operations in those districts in advance of any mishap happening in those areas. Next slide. And we have been doing a large number of workshops across the country on various issues of interest, and we have tried to cover field staff as well as clients on a sample basis in such awareness and sensitization program, so that the critical aspects of the functioning of the MFIs are known to the clients, and also it will again reiterate some of the issues relating to the MFI's functioning to the field staff also. Next slide. And these are the field visits as a part of our surveillance and as a part of our activity at the field level and reporting back to the Reserve Bank. We have covered a large number of districts, states, and also interacted with the clients. This is some thing which our regional coordinators regularly do, but in many of such visits, our colleagues from headquarters in Delhi and even myself join in some of the visits. Next slide. And of course, as Mr. Paul Thomas was mentioning, that microfinance sector is one where constant crisis arise on and off, because it concerns the lives and livelihoods of the poorest of the poor. Assam had seen a big unrest at the field level, especially in Upper Assam, and Sadhan had made multiple visits to the state and interacted with the district officials, state level officials, in coordination with our Northeastern Microfinance Association and our members and colleagues in the Northeast. And we also tried to interact with the media and sensitize, interact with various associations, and also worked out a financial package, so that the state government is relatively satisfied as far as the microfinance sector is concerned. We had some issues in Karnataka also. It started off first with Dakshina Kannada, but spread to other districts. There were multiple interventions there in collaboration with the state association ACME, and in both these interventions, we actively collaborated with MFIN also, and we jointly took up a lot of interventions. And other disturbances, wherever they are arising, we immediately tried to rush to those areas and try to sort out the issues. We had seen some such disturbances in Orissa, Tamil Nadu, and other parts also. Next slide. And we have been constantly issuing advisories and guidelines on various issues, which basically are focused on this issues of multiple lending, over lending, promotional responsible lending. There are also issues of third-party durable sales, which RBI has been cautioning us time to time. And also we have been constantly advising members on the potential risk areas. Then wherever elections are due, we are immediately taking up with the state election commissioners the role of microfinance sector and also how they function, so that they are not disturbed during the election process. That's something which we constantly do. And also to ensure that there is a constant support to the sector during the crisis on various aspects, we constantly try to guide the member institutions. Next. And as you all know that jointly with MFIN and the Association for NBFCs, FIDC, we have formulated the code for responsible lending. The steering committee is chaired by HR Khan, former DG of RBI. The CRL steering committee has already met twice and looked at various issues which are concerning the responsible lending related things. So through this mechanism, we only want to ensure that there is a smooth credit flow without the borrowers being over-indebted from in the microfinance sector, whichever be the institution. And we have also revised the industry code of conduct jointly with MFIN, because 5 years have passed. Please. And since 5 years have passed, we have revised this code of conduct, and this was released during the last national conference. Next slide. And these are the member details across the states and the regions of the total 220 odd members. About 150 are pure MFIs, and others are in support activities, capacity building, and in others we also have SHG promoting institution as well as developmental NGOs. And as we have seen, the number of members have increased in the current financial year. And there is a continuous engagement with the member institutions. Member meets have been constantly conducted in all the states so that their issues and concerns are discussed, and various activity-based meets are also being held. We had one on fraud control, and we had two interfaces with the lenders, one at Chennai and one at the national level in Mumbai. Then workshops we conduct with other institutions support also. Then on other areas like digitization, disaster resilience and all, also we have taken up such interventions for the members. Next slide. Capacity building, as you all know, in collaboration with Prime M2I Consulting, we have introduced online courses for the staff. Till now, good number of professionals have received the certification. And now, as a continuation of our capacity building effort for the small and medium MFIs, we have discussing with Basics Consultancy and ADB for undertaking programs for building the capacity of small and medium MFIs. And we are also working with trying to work with the MFIs which are supporting the FPOs. Some support we expect for that in from SFAC and HSBC. And number of programs we are organizing for the small MFIs in various functional areas so that their own staff capacities are enhanced. Next slide. Under strategic initiative, we have an ongoing projects supported by HSBC. The project has now first phase in Bengal and second phase in Punjab has been completed. And now this financial year we will be taking up the third phase with a member MFI in Tamil Nadu. And in water and sanitation financing with our partner water.org and India Sanitation Coalition, we have been undertaking a lot of field level work, especially in the 4 states for which we have support from water.org. And this is one area which we are going to expand because both the government of India and the UN's SDGs are focused on water sanitation related efforts. And this is something which will require additional impetus in view of maintaining the hygiene and health as a fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic. Then under the DEA fund scheme of RBI, the first two legs of the programs are over, but the other program is yet to start because that got postponed because of the lockdown and the onset of other restrictions. During the course of this week, we are hopeful that we'll be able to undertake the remaining part of this project. And with the support of DFID, a project for engaging microfinance sector for affordable housing has been sanctioned for Odisha. It will cover Puri and Konark district. Then a similar project of for clean energy for livelihoods with support of Selco Foundation, that's also focused in Kerala, Odisha, and it will be linked to the affordable housing project. Then, as you all know, the National Conference commemorated the 20th anniversary of Sadhan. Professor Yunus graced the conference, and he told us as to what exactly should be the goal of the microfinance sector and how we are essential as far as job creation and incubation is concerned. And we had a variety of interventions with regard to the type of sessions, the type of speakers, and in all, and also the number of sponsors. In a way, this national conference was one more success in the path of progress of Sadhan. And we received a wide media coverage for all our activities, especially in the light of what all advocacy we have taken up after the pandemic, that has been receiving quite a regular coverage in the national as well as regional media, and some of the interventions and actions of the regulators and the policymakers also was because of our regular presence in the media. So thank you, all of you, and if you have any questions or suggestions, I request you to put that in the chat box so that we can answer